The Nintendo Red Tent. I finally got one. And people are probably wondering, why do you want this? It's like an arcade cabinet based on the NES console. Well, that's partially correct, but it's super unique and it has a bunch of historical significance when it comes to the NES and the success of the NES in North America. So many don't know this, but 100,000 of these things were sold in the United States, and it was the highest grossing arcade machine in 1985. So that's really cool. It was also the first version of the Famicom hardware to debut in North America, which paved the way for the NES console. So it has a lot of significance when it comes to both the arcade and its influence on the console side of the house. What else makes it unique? One of the really cool things about it is it runs the Versus Unisystem hardware. This Versus Unisystem hardware is a single PCB that actually runs two separate Nintendo games on each side of the board, so that if you're sitting on one side of the Nintendo Red Tent, you can be playing a different game than the person sitting on the other side. And you could effectively have up to 4 people playing on the system at one time. Not all at once, but you can have 2 people on each side playing games with each other. So it is very, very cool. So let's dive in a little deeper and just kind of check the thing out. I just got it, so I'm super excited, and I already discovered a couple of really cool things. All right, guys, so we're in the arcade, hanging out right next to the Red Tent. Now, I want to show you a couple things. We're going to geek out really quick. So this is the PCB. Now, obviously, I have 2 of these. This one came out of my Versus Super Mario Brothers. The reason why I want to show you this is because you've got a PPU and a CPU. These 2 components on the board, PPU and CPU. Now, you need both of these to run, you need the PPU, the CPU, and the game ROMs in order to have the game load. And like I said, one half of the board is Super Mario Brothers, and the other half on this particular board is pinball. So the cool thing about these boards is you can run a game on each side of the Red Tent, like I said in the intro. But here's where it gets really cool. There's this device, and I found this in my Donkey Kong. This device allows you to load 2 separate games on one side of the board. So on this side, I could have 2 games instead of 1 game, and then there's a switcher to switch the games. Now you can see there's some header pins on this thing. So basically what you do is you take out your PPU and CPU, you stick this thing on, and then you have the option to run 2 different games and switch between the games. Now I'm gonna show you how that works. I just wanted to show you the components. I happen to have duplicates of these, but in the system itself, you may have noticed there's this little cable hanging out. You're probably like, well, what does this do, right? So right now you can see that Castlevania is on the screen, right? So basically there's a little switch, you flick the switch, and then you hit the reset button, and then let go, and now it's gonna launch a different game. In this case, it's Top Gun. So this particular board I have runs Top Gun on one side and Castlevania on the other. Now, what I might do is I might put one of those switchers on the other side of the board so I can have 2 games on that side too, which is really cool. And you could probably mount the switcher somewhere or just keep it inside. The only caveat is you do have to reset it, but you don't have to power down your system because it has this little green reset button. So this is really, really cool. So of course I already modified the board to do that. As soon as I got it, I was like, I have to do that. Because I knew that that existed. I mean, what would be the chances that I had one in my Donkey Kong? So that's pretty cool. Okay, before we go, I want to show you a couple things. So there's 2 keys. You have to insert both keys to get this top open, like you're launching some kind of nuclear missile. But yeah, now that both keys are turned, it will allow me to sort of lift the side and open it up. Now you're probably looking at the screen going, what the heck is going on with that screen? The screen really needs to be degaussed, and there's a degauss button right here you can press. There you go. So now you see that discoloration went away. Now this screen is very burnt in, unfortunately, but I'm gonna roll with it for the time being because it does look pretty good. It's pretty bright. You have your vertical hold, your sound, your brightness. So the volume for this is actually adjusted right down here. So unlike the sort of Versus Unisystem in Donkey Kong, the sound amp is on the back. You couldn't really do that because both of these monitors are actually kind of backing up each other. So you can kind of see if you look in there, that's the back of the other monitor on the other side. So they're kind of like staggered a little bit. It's a pretty weird design. It's pretty creative that they were able to get 2 in there the way they did. But yeah, so, and everything is, or should be on free play, I think. Nope, it's not on this side. So this side I don't have it on free play, so we can coin this guy up. Let's just, there we go. The other side I do have on free play, and then you can, yeah, you could just press player 1. And I did make an error in the beginning of this video. You could have 4 players playing at the same time. So yeah, I'm playing obviously with, I can't see anything because I'm behind the camera, but yeah.
Well guys, that about does it for this quick video. So there are a couple things I need to do. I'm gonna have to call up Rudy Roundhouse and be like, hey man, we're gonna lift this thing up because I wanna be able to get it to the right height. So Rudy Roundhouse, you're gonna be coming over. You're gonna be getting a call from me soon and we'll get it back up to a normal height. The other thing I need to do is probably figure out what games I'm gonna actually eventually wanna run on it. But right now I'm really excited to have Castlevania and Top Gun, and then Super Mario Brothers. It's like, who doesn't want Super Mario Brothers? So that's really cool. The only things that maybe I have a little bit of fine tuning and tweaking I gotta do to the monitor, but for the most part, it's in pretty good shape. So I'm excited about that. And shout out to Nick Madsen for helping me find this deal. Definitely, it's pretty awesome. So anyways, guys, if you're curious about the Red Tent, excited about the Red Tent, put your comments below. If I said something stupid and you're like, you don't know what you're talking about, put that in the comments below too, because honestly, I'm just learning. I don't know a whole lot about the Red Tent. So it's new. The Red Tent is new, and I'm excited. I'm excited to learn. That's what this hobby is all about. Buy games you know nothing about, and then you learn it, and then you know. I mean, it's freaking awesome. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel, put your comments below, I want to hear from you, and that's it for now. We will see you on the next one.